I mean, this has been I'll call it a dark chapter. You know, if I look at in Tesla's history, it's really hard to, ultimately put this as what I would view as a smart acquisition.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to show to you guys why Wall Street analysts in general, 98 and 99% have absolutely no idea what the fuck they are talking about when it comes to Tesla stock. We're going to be watching an interview in which an analyst who actually has a $1,000 price target on Tesla stock and remains very bullish on the company makes some of the most nonsensical, moronic, embarrassing comments I have ever heard about the company. This is a window of insight into the strange bubble that Wall Street analysts live in, the world in which reality doesn't matter, facts don't matter, and very little useful information seems to actually penetrate. Instead, these clowns live in their own world, make astonishingly dumb calls, say astonishingly dumb things, and get ridiculed on YouTube by people that know better. By the way guys, I've just discovered this morning this channel has passed 200,000 subscribers, so a huge thank you to everyone for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all, including the haters, and a huge special thank you to my Patreon supporters who really keep the wheels turning. I'll talk more about this milestone toward the end of the video because I know most of you don't give a fuck and just want to get straight into the content. So let's get into the video. If you love crypto, stocks, and free stuff, or just want to help out the channel, check out these great offers. Blockfire launching the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card. People in the US can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase with no annual fee using the Blockfire Bitcoin Rewards credit card. Check out the link in the description. And for a limited time, you can get up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on Blockfire, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $300 just for opening an account. And if you make an initial deposit of $5 or more, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $2,000. Seriously, free stocks? Yes, please. And finally, if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for your support, guys. Let's get back to it.
The board settled this suit years ago, and Musk decided to take it to court anyway. What's your take on this?
Look, I think this continues to be something Musk feels passionate about, that this was the right acquisition in terms of Solar City, but I think investors disagree.
Where do we even start with this one? Okay, first of all, Dan did actually have one valid point there. The anchor asked, why did Tesla's board settle, yet Elon Musk is finding himself in court? So for those of you who don't know, Tesla's insurance, their liability insurance, paid out $60 million to settle this to avoid these people wasting their time in court. They didn't admit any guilt and they didn't have to spend any time wanking around. But Elon Musk has a very strong sense of justice, and Dan Ives is right. He believes this was the right decision. I talked about this yesterday briefly. I think generally speaking, people on the autism spectrum, Elon and myself included, have an extremely strong sense of justice and will do things that may seem a little bit irrational from the outside, like Elon wasting his time in court defending this frivolous lawsuit, rather than just taking the easy path out, because this sense of justice is so strong. You guys might notice I spend a huge amount of my time on this channel fighting FUD because it irks me so much that people are out there spreading bullshit in the mainstream finance media, aka the fake news, and I just can't let it slide. So Dan has a fair point. The reason Elon is in court at this point in time is because he believes this acquisition was the right thing. But that's where Dan completely and utterly loses the fucking plot. Dan Ives implied that investors disagreed with this acquisition. They didn't think this was a good decision. Is this guy on another planet? Like, seriously? I don't understand. 85% of investors voted in favor of the Solar City acquisition by Tesla. 85%. Where in the world is he getting the idea that investors weren't behind this idea? I honestly do not understand. And this is the point that I'm getting at with this video. This guy's an analyst on Wall Street. He legitimately believes that investors weren't in support of this deal. Is it any wonder that the Wall Street stock analysts are completely clueless about Tesla? They have missed the mark, been completely off, dead wrong on this company for years running. They've failed to understand Tesla's full self-driving strategy. They've failed to understand the importance of software. They failed to have any idea whatsoever that Tesla has a huge lead in terms of manufacturing technologies and techniques. These are the same morons who say the competition is coming. And by the way, if you guys didn't notice my recent video on Dan Ives claiming that General Motors is now going to be viewed as a disruptive technology company, I think that's enough said. The point here, despite the fact that these Wall Street analysts have an air of credibility just because they're a Wall Street analyst, they appear in the mainstream media and people think, oh well, they're on television. They must know what they're talking about. This shows the level of cluelessness when it comes to a typical Wall Street analyst who's trying to analyze and understand Tesla. It is astonishing. I cannot get over the fact that this guy has the kahunas to go on television knowing absolutely nothing about what he's talking about and literally self-immolate on air. Dan Ives, the internet never forgets. You are ending your career in slow motion right as we speak. You know, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh here on Dan Ives. Maybe it's not his fault that he doesn't know that practically every shareholder of both SolarCity and Tesla voted in favor of this acquisition. Let's give him a pass on that one. Maybe we can approach these comments from a different angle and be a little bit more fair on poor old Dan Ives.
Something Musk feels passionate about, that this was the right acquisition in terms of SolarCity, but I think investors disagree.
Okay, Tesla and SolarCity to combine. The deal was announced on the 1st of August 2016. Oops, I accidentally ended up on the Tesla stock price chart over the last 5 years. I wonder what Tesla stock has done since this deal was announced. Oh, it's up a mere 1,350 odd %. Apart from the brain-dead morons involved in this frivolous lawsuit at this point in time, can somebody please explain to me in the comments below how any investors in either of these companies won't have been happy with what's ensued since the acquisition of SolarCity?
I mean, this has been I'll call it a dark chapter. You know, if I look at in Tesla's history, not an acquisition investors really assign value to. I think investors are looking forward to getting this in the rearview mirror, but it's really hard to, ultimately put this as what I would view as a smart acquisition.
He can't possibly be serious right now. Yeah, is Dan trolling us? Maybe someone in the office is like, hey Dan, go on television, I'll give you $10,000, go on TV, make an absolute moron out of yourself. Just self-immolate. Say the dumbest thing you possibly can about Tesla. Let's just see how it goes. Here's 10 grand, go on, do it. And Dan's like, you know what, it, I will. Allow me to remind you guys once again of Tesla's secret master plan written by Elon Musk on the Tesla blog in 2006. I'll get straight to the point. So in short, the master plan is build a sports car, use that money to build a more affordable car, S and X, use that money to build an even more affordable car, 3 and Y, while doing above, also provide zero emission electric power generation options, aka solar. So Tesla has had a plan for now 15 years. At the time of the acquisition, a decade-old plan, explicitly stating that in the future, they would offer solar to customers. Tesla then acquires a solar company, the leading solar company in the United States, to vertically integrate, to lower overhead, to allow them to cross-sell products, to integrate into the ecosystem. And this is hard to see as a smart acquisition. Dan Ives is hard to see as a smart human being. Sorry, dude, but just the facts.
It continues to be what I would probably a black eye, one of the few, if you look at Tesla in the last, call it 5 to 6 years.
Just how black is the eye? I mean, as I understand it, he may have to pay upwards of $2 billion. If he loses, I mean, what's the extent of the damage?
Well, I think the damage is more around what comes out for future acquisitions, because given this acquisition, I mean, it could potentially be somewhat successful, but realistically, it's almost been a write-off in terms of the view of investors, a painful one. I think less credibility with future acquisitions, especially outside the core, at a time that really investors want to see Tesla focus purely on EV in terms of their initiatives.
This is absolutely incredible. I don't think I've ever heard so much idiocy in such a short period of time relating to Tesla. And yes, I've watched every interview Gordon the Genius Johnson has ever done. Let's put Dan's hypothesis to the test. There's probably 40, 50,000 Tesla stock investors watching this video. Let me ask you a question. Please let me know in the comments below. Would you prefer Tesla to solely focus on electric vehicles, to abandon their full self-driving plans, abandon their plans for robo-taxis completely, to stop selling home batteries, get rid of the Tesla Powerwall, the Megapack, who cares about grid-scale storage, fuck that as well, get rid of their solar panels, get rid of their solar roof product, forget the whole idea of vertical integration, give up on the idea of becoming a distributed utility, providing virtual power plants, end that all entirely, abandon their AI projects, kill Dojo, throw their supercomputer out, abandon their software dreams, just give up on everything and focus solely on electric vehicles? As a Tesla shareholder, is that what you want? You want Tesla to just focus on EVs? Please let me know in the comments below. Should Tesla just focus on electric vehicles?
I think this is something where Musk, as you saw today, feels passionate about it. And I think investors right now want to see how this comes out, because I think it's more reputational as a risk rather than monetary.
Well, and certainly the optics are bad, right? He was chairman at the time. He was the company's biggest shareholder. Everybody raised their eyebrows when it happened, but, Elon Musk is pretty used to that. So, what makes this different in terms of the bold and daring moves that he has made that have worked out?
I think, look, he's made many that have worked out and more, right? Beyond, I think, even the Bulls' dreams. But I think this is one they really misestimated. I think underestimated just how complex the solar industry was, how competitive it was, and it was really out of their core competency.
This just gets better and better. Dan Ives, small oversight there, clearly has not seen Tesla's 2006 master plan, in which they explicitly state their future intent to offer customers a product which allows them to generate power for themselves sustainably. As for Tesla going outside their area of core competency, do we even need to discuss this? You know what? Amazon should never have developed Amazon Web Services. They should have just kept selling books. Why would they sell anything else online except books? You know what? Amazon Prime, what a stupid idea. Streaming services? No. Producing original content? Dumb idea. Kindle? Terrible idea. Why would you do that, Amazon, you idiots? Google should have just stuck to search. Just keep being a search engine, Google. Who cares about offering anything else? No cloud services? Nah, don't worry about that. Email? No, forget that. Just stay a search engine, Google. Tesla, please, just stay in your lane. Don't go outside your core area of competency there. We don't want to know about artificial intelligence. We don't want to know about software. We don't want to know about full self-driving. We don't want home batteries. We don't want you to produce your own battery cells. We don't want you to do any innovation whatsoever. We don't want you to grow into the world's largest company. We don't want you to operate a robo-taxi fleet in the future. And definitely don't offer solar to customers. That's a stupid idea. Why would you want to do that? It's not like you're aiming to become one of the world's largest companies and accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, which includes generation, supply, storage, and transportation. No. Why would you go outside your core area of competency, Tesla? Naughty.
And I think you've seen that play out here. And it's been frustrating for investors to watch, really assign almost negative to no value. And it's one that Musk still believes. And as we all know, Elon's not one that's going to ultimately stop.
At long last, Dan Ives has finally said something that makes sense. Yes, Elon Musk and Tesla actually do believe that they should continue pursuing solar. In fact, Elon in the past has said that he believes Tesla's energy business, you know what, solar, that's part of the energy business, not the automotive business, could in fact become as large, if not larger than their automotive business in the future. And we already know that Tesla's aiming to sell 20 million electric vehicles per year at the end of this decade. Therefore, their energy business, including solar, could be relatively large, if Elon's right. The second thing that Dan said that actually makes sense there is Elon is not one to give up. In fact, need I remind you guys, there's a reason this shirt is one of the best-selling pieces of merch in the merch store, because people resonate with the message. Don't bet against Elon. And by the way, guys, if you want to pick up your own Don't Bet Against Elon shirt, mug, hoodie, etc., check out the link in the description. Helps out the channel, and these are great conversation starters. Actually had somebody chase me down in the street the other day after walking past this shirt. I love having these conversations with random people. If you're an Elon fanboy or fangirl, you see one of these shirts out and about, you're pretty likely to say hello to the person wearing it, have a conversation, because clearly you have something in common. The point that I'm making here is Dan Ives is sort of suggesting, you know what, Elon's not going to give up, and he also believes this is the right path, yet somehow Dan seems to fail to realize that it's generally not a good idea to bet against Elon Musk. What planet is this guy on? Seriously.
But this is one with many highlights over the last decade. This is definitely a low light, and something I think investors would rather Tesla have gone the other direction.
Well, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so Picard can do the talking for me on this one.
How does this play into, his future ambitions, solar roofs and batteries and, a much more sustainable future? Do you see Solar City as a huge drag on the company? Does it mean they won't be able to accomplish those goals as fast as maybe we thought?
I think it was almost a distraction. And I think maybe eventually they could sell off part of that solar business, if they're able to actually ramp it. Because the problem right now, in terms of electric vehicle, with this arms race going on as part of the green tidal wave, the last thing investors want to see is any dollar go toward non-EV.
You know what? I think the last thing investors, especially Tesla stock investors, want to see is Dan Ives talking about Tesla stock ever again. Honestly, I'm going to nitpick here a little bit, but Dan Ives has been popularizing this term, green tidal wave. Let's think about this for a moment here. What's the implication in the term green tidal wave rather than, say, EV tidal wave or electric vehicle tsunami? Green, as in sustainable energy, right? That's the gist. That's the overarching concept. We're not just talking about electric vehicles. We're talking about solar, home batteries, wind, everything in terms of renewable, sustainable energy and transportation, right? Or am I just mistaking this terminology for something other than what it actually represents? I can't believe this guy in the same breath is implying that Tesla focusing some energy and attention towards solar is a distraction. I just can't deal with this.
And I think that's sort of the frustration here. You want to see them, especially with competition come from all angles, focused on EV. It's all about deliveries. That's the key of the stock, especially everything that's going on in China as well. You don't want to see any distractions from Musk or that management team focused on some of the solar ambitions, where ultimately it's almost a one step forward, two steps back type feel.
Yeah, the competition is coming, disappointingly fast and all over itself. As I've mentioned a million times already, there is no credible competition on the horizon to be seen, period. If this is Dan Ives' rationale for why Tesla should be all in just focus on EVs, when they're already in a dominant position, years ahead by every metric you can measure, whether it's battery technology, whether it's software, whether it's manufacturing techniques, whether it's their autonomous software, if that is really the perspective that Dan Ives holds, if he truly genuinely believes that Tesla is threatened by the so-called competition, I think it's time for a new nickname. Dan Zero Credibility Ives. Dude, you need to retire like yesterday. This is just getting worse and worse and worse.
So, obviously taking a look at Tesla more broadly, there are lots of different things going on, things happening in China. What are your sort of overriding views right now as we are now in the second half of the year?
Yeah, I mean, they've been through a Category 5 storm between the chip issues as well as some of the negative PR issues in China, and they still came out with over 200,000 units. I think that just shows we believe they'll be on a trajectory, potentially 900,000 units, more profitability on the horizon. I think they navigated this mini crisis. And from an investor perspective, what that means is I believe 2Q is really just another sort of turning point in the broader Tesla story. We have $1,000 price target. And I think we're going to look back at this as really one that was a fork in the road situation. And they navigated it positively, especially not just on China, but on overall EV in terms of deliveries as well as a chip shortage, which is starting to moderate going into the second half of the year.
Well, at least Dan Zero Credibility Ives has finished with a few comments that actually have some semblance of reason behind them. Like I said, I really think it's time for Dan Ives to retire, or at the very least, just stop talking about Tesla stock. I mean, the guy's got a $1,000 price target on Tesla stock, yet thinks it's a poor idea for Tesla to be pursuing solar. Thinks in the future maybe it's a good idea they sell off their solar business. He's literally living on another planet. And as per the title of this video, this gives you a window of insight into how disconnected almost every Wall Street stock analyst is when it comes to understanding Tesla. This appearance from Dan Ives has been truly embarrassing, and I mean that in the literal sense. If I was Dan or anyone working at Wedbush Securities, I would be truly embarrassed by these comments. And it just goes to show you, these type of appearances from clueless analysts in the mainstream media talking to the masses can continue to create buying opportunities for smarter, more informed investors. And speaking of smart, well-informed investors, once again, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody for supporting the channel. The 200,000 subscriber milestone is a huge surprise. I never would have imagined when I first started this channel there'd be 200,000 people interested in hearing what I have to say about Tesla, let alone that many people actually looking for this kind of stuff on YouTube. I really appreciate the support from each and every one of you. And once again, a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters for really keeping the wheels turning on this channel and for trying, so far unsuccessfully, to get me cancelled in the regular exclusive Patreon Q&As in which I answer questions on any and every topic you guys are willing to ask. And I just want to take a quick moment to explain the rationale and the reason behind why I created this channel and why I continue to create content today. Back in November 2019, when I first started posting videos, I saw a huge opportunity that I wasn't seeing discussed, and that was Tesla stock. It was just baffling to me that Tesla stock had done literally nothing for a 5-year period, despite the fact that they'd grown revenue, deliveries, production, everything that could possibly be going right for the company was, and yet the stock had done nothing. I saw it as my duty to scream from the rooftops at everyone that would listen, and plenty who wouldn't, that I saw a huge opportunity there just to open the door for people to walk through, do their own research, and maybe they agreed with what I had to say, maybe they didn't. Obviously, we know that that worked out relatively well. Tesla stock headed to the moon practically the moment I started posting videos. It's a total coincidence. I'm not suggesting there was any correlation whatsoever. But after that, my strategy evolved a little bit. I see myself as a gateway drug to Tesla. A lot of times, the first interaction people have with any Tesla-related content on YouTube is one of my videos. They think to themselves, who is this arrogant prick and why does he swear so much? But eventually, some of these people fall down the rabbit hole, they discover Tesla Daily, Dave Lee on investing, and that's the ultimate goal here. I'm just trying to open the door to as many people as I can, in my own style, and try to make people aware of what I see as the enormous opportunity in Tesla stock still ahead of us today. Obviously, I absolutely love creating content for you guys. I'm all in on the channel. I really enjoy sharing my thoughts and opinions. You've probably noticed, at least most of you, that I've posted daily videos now for well over a year straight. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing that if I wasn't enjoying what I'm doing, and I really appreciate your support. I'm not going to lie, I have had to make some pretty major personal sacrifices. Creating content every single day certainly takes a lot of my energy and time. Before I started this channel, I had a very active dating life. After I've started this channel, and not so much. Occasionally I get to see your mum, your sister and your girlfriend, but it's nowhere near as much as I want to, and I absolutely love women. Well, to clarify, I love beautiful, feminine women. So I've had to make this sacrifice, but in my opinion, it's been well worth it. And just on a personal note, the thing that I'm most proud about in terms of having built this channel is the fact that I did so without pandering or trying to please anyone. I've been my complete, genuine self from day one. I haven't tried to pander, to please, to mold myself into who I thought you guys would want to see. I know I do lots of things regularly that offend large numbers of viewers. I create videos occasionally where I'll have negative subscriber growth because so many people get butthurt and offended. I melt a bunch of snowflakes. The thing is, I literally give zero fucks. And I think over the long term, that's going to allow me to build something truly substantial. Authenticity is underrated. And I wish more people on YouTube would present their full, complete, and utter selves rather than trying to be someone they're not. Who cares if a few people get offended? Who cares if you share an opinion that might divide your audience? Who cares if you say something that's a little bit controversial? If you believe it, if it's you, if it's genuine, say what you think. Don't be ashamed to share who you are. And on that note of being your genuine self, maybe some of you guys have picked this up. Neediness is just not in my nature. And this is why, since day one of this channel, I've never been able to bring myself to ask a single person to subscribe to the channel or to like a video. This is counter to growing the channel. These things legitimately help. People go, oh yeah, hey, I should like the video. I like this channel. I will like the video. I will subscribe. The algorithm actually really likes these metrics. It helps spread videos further. I know this is a very stubborn attitude, but like I said, I just can't be a needy bitch. Begging and pleading with people, it's just not in my nature, just not who I am. I'd rather let the content speak for itself. Kind of like how Tesla doesn't waste money advertising. A little bit of food for thought. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan, this is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget the Blockfire Bitcoin Rewards credit card where you can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase. There's a link in the description. You can also earn up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on Blockfire, also linked below. And finally, don't forget your free stocks with WeBull and Stake, also linked in the description. These great offers also help out the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.